Alrighty, happy Monday. It's been a while. So, I'll start off by saying I took a few days off. I haven't made a video in a little bit. I was just getting beat up, man. Losing money, just trading like an idiot. And I just needed to take a couple days off. And I think it served me pretty well. Today I was really calm going into the day. I didn't even really expect to trade, but the setup I think looked really good. So anyway, I'll sort of look at the higher time frame charts real quick. So looking at the weekly, I do think there's a good possibility that we have some movement to the upside. If not, go back to all-time highs. I don't really think that's going to happen, but I think we could have a good retracement. So relatively bullish. If you take this low to this high on NQ, we've come down into OTE, the range. We have a weekly order block here that we've come down and tapped. Weekly fair value gap. Daily order block here, daily fair value gap here. Taking out a bunch of sell side. And if you take a look at ES, this manipulation move is a lot clearer. And this is like the main model. We've hit the -4 standard deviation, took out the main draw, which I believe so far. So not saying that we can't go all the way lower. I think there's a good possibility we continue lower, but I think there might be some decent opportunities for longs in the time being, maybe up until this daily fair value gap. We'll see. But yeah, with that aside, going into the day, zooming into this sort of structure here, I was bullish, but I'll zoom in a bit more. We were around here in the morning. We had this big new week opening gap that opened up, and we started to bounce out of it, but we were forming a lot of just low resistance liquidity here. And looking at ES as well, we had these clean relative equal lows here right in the middle of that new week opening gap. And also, if you take a fib, it's just in a perfect area to see a bounce. It's in OTE, that range. So I was very skeptical. I really thought we were going to have a rebalance before going higher. I didn't really expect today to have pretty decent price action. I mean, we moved a lot today. The initial sell-off, and then 70-point rip on ES. That's pretty insane for a Monday with no news. So and even this move to the downside is almost 200 points. So we had some big price action, but the main thing, I will delete these real quick. So I was looking at the 15-minute chart, and these three highs are really what got me here. So we have this one high here. I guess this is kind of bad. One high here, and then this final high to fulfill 3 drives pattern. So this drawing was pretty terrible here, but we have this one high, boom. The second you take out that high, big push lower, right? Eventually comes back up, boom, takes out this high. So 1, 2, 3. big push lower. I mean, look at that 15-minute wick right there, huge wick. And then looking also at the different sessions, we got London low sitting here, Asia low sitting here, another sell side level sitting there, so a lot of stacked sell side. Now zooming in a bit, or I'll actually mark out the consequent encroachment here, this wick, because these were also like a main reason why I ended up taking this trade. So I marked out the consequent encroachment of that wick because we still had a lot of area here that we could have bounced from. We still had this big fair value gap, and we tapped in, respected that wick perfectly, and started pushing lower. So I was like, alright, that's starting to look bearish. Now we also had this pretty large wick, which I'm marking out the consequent encroachment there as well. Then zooming in, sorry if you hear a dog scratching. I'm babysitting this dog that's non-stop crying, but anyway, so we had this big fair value gap right as that silver bullet hour is about to start. So it comes up, 15-minute consequent encroachment, gets respected, we push lower. This one is the 5-minute consequent encroachment. We come back into that 1 minute one more time, wick out of there. I got a kind of a poor entry, maybe I should have just entered on the tap of this 1 minute again here, or maybe I should have just been a little bit quicker off that rejection, but ended up getting in here, stop above that candle. And I also marked out standard deviation of this price leg. And when I marked this out, I really wanted to just target all the way down to the 2 to 2.5, the Asia lows, because I thought this was going to be a great draw. But I mean, that's like almost 100-point move. I only have one contract. It's a Monday, no news. I was like, that's kind of greedy. So London low, we have clear sell side resting under here. We could definitely take this and bounce and save this for later. So took my profits there and just called it a day. So another thing I want to point out, I was happy about the way that I managed my risk here. Basically, I didn't manage it at all. I just had my stop loss right here, and I didn't move my stop to break even until we started running through these lows pretty much on this displacement candle. We had all this sort of low resistance there lining up with the -1 standard deviation. So it was in this candle that I trailed my stop to just better than break even. And I think that's good because normally, I'm sort of quick to just jam my stop loss. Like, right when we take this low, I would normally jam my stop loss here, but I think, we could have very easily came back up, manipulated one of these highs. We have all of these up close candles that we could have rejected from. This whole candle here, or these whole 2 candles, is an order block with that 1 minute as well. So I basically just was like, I gotta stop overthinking and like bugging out over my trade. So put it there, let it go. Once we got the majority to my take profit, that's when I rolled the stop. Take profit got hit, and I stopped looking at the charts for the rest of the day. So I think, the way that I performed today, like mentally and stuff, was very good. I won't lie, I was definitely like very nervous during this trade. Probably just because I haven't traded in a bit. and I've been getting slaughtered lately, so a little extra nerves there, but I think regardless of being nervous, I handled my trade fine. So yeah, and then it ended up going down to all those levels that I was looking for, which is great. Get to add that to the conviction. And then we actually ended up hitting, I'll zoom back in, this -4 standard deviation. So using this price leg here, after taking out all that liquidity, we're holding the bottom end of this new week opening gap, hit that -4 perfectly for the low of the day. Now, to be honest, I didn't really see, looking back, I wasn't looking at this at the time. Looking back, I didn't really see much opportunity here, to be honest. But it is cool to just see these things and journal them, because we literally tapped that to a tick, and this whole thing ended up being the Judas swing. So came up here, took out all this liquidity, dumped, rebalanced all of that liquidity to then go rip the rest of the day. So that was the Judas swing that I didn't really see, until after the fact, but it's good to journal those things. So anyway, looking at this model, yeah, I really didn't see much. I mean, if you're trading like on a higher time frame, like a 5-minute, I could see why, you might want to take a trade here. You got this big 5-minute fair value gap. You got this order block here. This is your breaker here, this whole thing. So you're also tapping into the top of that breaker. A lot of times I see ICT like point out the wick, something like this of the breaker, being like, if we're bullish, you want to see the majority of the PD array stay open. So if this whole thing is your breaker, you don't want to see us come all the way down to this fair value gap here, even though this is like the one in OTE. You would want to see us hold this. Now, I don't got the balls to be trading something like this, but I just like journaling those things. If you wanted to take some sort of long, like that sort of model, playing like, a bit of a higher time frame sort of trade. But yeah, in terms of internal models, didn't really see much. We just kind of bounced off that. Maybe you could have caught something in here, I don't know. But pretty much same deal on ES. Took out that sell side, and then just ended up rallying the rest of the day. Crazy rally, like 70 points. That's insane for a Monday. But we now have SMT at these highs, so it will be interesting to see if that ends up holding, or if that's just if we're just a little bit uncorrelated here and we continue holding this this 1 hour and make our way higher. So we'll have to see. But yeah, so I'm gonna do my best to just sort of think a lot about whether or not the trade is worth it, and just take one clean trade and just walk. So did relatively well today in terms of my discipline, and that's my goal, to just keep that up. So hope you made some money. If I trade tomorrow, I'll take a video. So peace out.